They released the interim assessment in a 35-page report on Thursday. The report cites holes in previously published scientific research about the virus transmitting from an animal to a human naturally, stating how experts have yet to identify that host animal. They also mention a number of persistent biosafety problems with that Wuhan Institute of Virology lab, including management and training concerns. Ranking member Richard Burr said his ultimate goal with this report is to provide a better picture of what we know so far about the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic. Representative Paul Tonko is running for re-election against Republican challenger Liz Joy. One America's James Myers has more.
Two and a half minutes. Fifteen. Stand by.
U.S. consumer sentiment published today shows a small increase for October. It's a slight uptick as inflation is still squeezing household incomes. For more on the numbers and what this means for the economy, I want to bring in CEO and Chief Investment Advisor at EGSI Financial, Ed Siddell. Hi, Ed. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Alicia. Thanks for having me.
All right, so the consumer sentiment published by the University of Michigan gauges how Americans are feeling financially. The sentiment rose to 59.9 in October. That's up from 58.6 in September. So what's your take on these numbers and what it means?
Yeah, it's not that big of an uptick. The uptick, the big one was from August to September, and I think a lot of that has to do with gas prices dropping. Because, at the end of the day, it really comes down to what people are feeling. As they sit at their kitchen table, they're putting all their bills out, and they're looking at, okay, which bill can I pay this month versus next month, or do I have any money left over to be able to save and buy what we wanted to buy? And so that's the sentiment that we're talking about, that disposable income. And I really think that what we're seeing right now as gas prices are stabilizing, the politicians are really looking at it and saying, people are unhappy, so we need to make sure that they're not feeling the pain at the pump because, I believe over the years we've seen where politicians have been voted out of office, and that's at the ballot box. That's where people really kind of make the changes, as it reflects their spending.
Yeah, we saw the president release millions of barrels of oil from the strategic national reserves right ahead of the midterms to bring down those gas prices. And the bottom line is, the sentiment is how much money families have left over after they've paid all their bills. So why else do you think people are feeling hopeful, aside from that slight decrease in gas prices because of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve release?
I think they're feeling hopeful because of the midterms. People are starting to, they want a change of leadership, and they're looking at it saying, okay, well, it looks like we may actually get that change of leadership because we went from being completely energy independent to within the last 18 months, now we're dependent on everyone else. We went from not only being energy independent, but, sending energy, oil and gas, abroad to all these other countries, and now we're having to buy that. So, having that change of leadership, I think people are hopeful.
And what are your recession expectations and your inflation expectations?
Well, the math is telling us right now that we're in a recession. I think it's going to continue on through 2023. We started seeing some good economic news, but it may be a little bit misleading that they came out on last Friday as it relates to housing prices. So they started to decrease a little bit. And the feds, they're looking at that as, excuse me, a slowdown in the economy. But we also have to look at, it's not just the cost of housing. When people buy homes, they're not buying the cost of the house, they're buying the monthly payments. And that's really just the entry price when we're talking about, housing prices. Then you have the utility costs and the furniture and everything that goes along with it. So, they may do a soft pivot, and I don't know if they're going to lower rates anytime soon, and they may keep it at 50 or 75 basis points in November. They'll probably have another raise in December going into March of next year as well. It just may not be as high.
All right, EGIS's financials. Ed Siddell, thanks so much for your insight and time today. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Alicia.
Pennsylvania's
All right, you're all clear.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day.